Have you ever met anybody who is more interested in being right than getting it right? Hi, I'm Trish Jenkins, and I work with leaders and teams who want resilience and adaptability for 21st century living. Today, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can ask of any circumstance, and in doing so, you will build your resilience and become more adaptable. All right. So, Joan, we're going to talk about Joan, who was so stressed she couldn't sleep. She was sick about what's happening at work. Can you relate to that? We're going to talk about Joan right after this. The strongest prison bars are in your head. Leaders and teams, it's time for a jailbreak. And we're back. Look, Joan was a nursing matron. She'd been one for 40 years doing the night shift. She knew her stuff. She could run a hospital. I think she had some of those doctors deferring to her at times. She was that good. So you can imagine her distress and her shock and horror when she was complained about as a bully and landed in my class. She was there. She was not there voluntarily. She was in my class to learn some people skills and how to communicate with people, because she was one of those dragon ladies. Do you remember? Just if you were in the work, I remember back in the 90s working, I won't name the place, but in my career, I've known a few dragon ladies. Have you ever worked with a dragon lady who absolutely scared the daylights out of you? Just pop a yes in the box in the chat and let us know, because oh my goodness, I certainly have, and I was terrified, just terrified. She had no idea how she was coming across, because there were lives at stake and she had to get it right. Joan was thinking a certain way and seeing a certain way, and she knew she was right, the other woman was wrong, but what she needed was 21st century thinking skills. She needed 21st century resilience, because you know what? Because I said so doesn't work anymore these days. It's not respectful and it doesn't work. So this is what we're going to be looking at. 21st century resilience skills. 3 questions that you ask in any circumstance. And I live by these, and it just opens up my world. Are you ready? Okay. So challenges come in the form of problems. Problem people, circumstances, tools, economics, our own mistakes, they cause problems. Whatever problem you face, remember to ask these 3 questions. They will increase your mental agility, your ability to find solutions, and build your resilience. So here's the first one, and this applies to Joan, and it applies to anybody in the workplace who is annoying you. How else can I see this person? If you're a leader, you've got someone in front of you who's in trouble because they've done the wrong thing, do you see a problem or do you see the person? Because often we look at someone through their history, our prejudice, whatever it might be, our unconscious bias. I'm really annoyed at this. How else can I see them? Find out what's going on in their world. Find out more about them. How can you help them? But how else can you see them opens up your mind to actually finding the solution and helping them, rather than retaliating against them, punishing them, which is what your flesh wants to do. It really is, isn't it? All right, number 2. So there's the person. How else can I see this circumstance? Because you're looking at it from one way. You have a certain set of opinions in front of you, complaints, documents. What else is, how else can I see the circumstance? And often we see circumstances in terms of how they affect us, and we can forget how they affect the other person. There was a woman when I was in prison, the woman who was doing the laundry, she kept mucking it up. And I thought I'd see if I could help her. And I said, look, is there anything I can do to help you? Can I? And they knew I was a Christian. I said, can I pray for something? She said, because I'm thinking, for the laundry. She said, it's my children. They're all in foster care and I'm desperately worried about them. I can't even think straight. Totally changed the circumstances. I thought it was about the laundry. It became about her being able to do her job. Have you ever found yourself in that situation? Just pop a comment in. You don't have to name any names. Just pop a comment in like, oh, my goodness. So when I saw things from the other person, when I saw their circumstances, just, yes, I've seen things differently. Excellent. All right, then. Number 3. So there's the person, the circumstance, and number 3, you've probably guessed it, it is, who am I being in this? We play our role. Am I being the disappointed parent? Am I being the leader who's had enough and I need to really push this person to perform? How am I showing up in this circumstance? Can you look at yourself and see your behavior? Or do you need to do you just always assume that your way of doing things is correct, often just because you're the boss? That's not helpful. That's not 21st century thinking. Because I said so, doesn't work anymore. Well, it might work temporarily, but you're not going to have an engaged, empowered employee doing the right thing either. And it might be someone else in your life. That's what's needing. So getting back to Joan, we did some turn this one off. And we've got our ticker across the bottom. We did some personality tests and some surveys. We did some communication styles analysis, and she started to see, oh, this woman thinks this way. And maybe if I had approached her from this point of view, from this way, then she might not have complained about me. She could suddenly see that her approach, her old school approach, was actually bullying. It really was. And you can't just lose your temper at staff. You can't. You've got to think about them and approach it differently. And her face, there were some tears, and she had said, I was vomiting. I couldn't sleep. I was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills, because I was so upset about this investigation into me and having to come to this class. And she said, thank you so much for showing me this. And she said, I can go to work happy now. Happy. This is a woman in her, I'd say 60s, possibly. Like, she was heading towards retirement. She was grey-haired, matronly. I knew her from old school, not personally, but I knew the type from those terrifying. She was one of those terrifying matrons. And now she had a whole new look on life. And she was joyful and she was happy to go back to work. She was happy to go back to work after being disciplined and corrected. That's what you want, new perspective. How about you? Has that helped you? Just pop an answer in the box. Just pop yes, no, yes, if this has been good. Now, what I'd love you to do, if this has been interesting, if it has been helpful, I'd love you to pop a like, pop a, where are we? Let's see. If you'd like to, I am looking for, here we are, like and subscribe. If this has been helpful, like and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'd be terrific if you'd like to, if you would like to get more ideas on how to get along with people and circumstances for leadership and your teams, then go to youtube.com/Trish Jenkins. That should be, where are we? Oh, I've got it there somewhere. Anyway, youtube.trishjenkins.com. In fact, I'll pop that in here. youtube.com/Trish Jenkins. I'll do that one for you. And there you go. If you go there, you'll be able to like, subscribe, and get more updates and tips. And if you have a group that you would like a keynote speaker for a conference or any other sorts of groups, then let me know. you can go along there and get in touch with me. And my website, speakertrishjenkins.com, which has been showing up. Let's see. Get myself around here. My Trish TV banner. There we go. There's my website in the bottom corner there. So have a great night. All the best. And like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of thing. Share it. Share it if you know someone who's having a tough time with someone or a tough time at work or got some problems to solve. If they're a leader, shoot the video across to them and see if it might help them. All right, you take care. Bless your heaps. And I'll see you next time on Trish TV.